Hi Cancer, this is your July 2020 tarot forecast. How is everybody? What a wild ride. More than halfway through 2020. Pretty crazy. I hope everyone's doing okay. And I hope that you enjoyed your 2020 June tarot forecast. So this is for Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising signs, and Cancer Venus signs. Can't forget you. What does Cancer need to know for July 2020? Messages for Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for July 2020. All right, guys. So we're going to be using a Celtic cross, just one layer. I was using another deck to qualify, but it takes forever. So I'm going to simplify it with one deck. However, I will use several decks for your private readings if you so wish. Not a problem. Let's get out your Celtic and see what's going on here in the month of July for you. So already I'm seeing the foundation of the issue for you. We'll see what the bottom of the deck energy is, but there's definitely something going on with perhaps a child or a younger earth sign person who is having some disputes. Communication could be a major theme of dispute here, and then arguments. All right, so an interesting month for you. Let's get the bottom of the deck energy is the King of Pentacles. So this is a Taurus individual or energy, but it's also fixed energy. So something that could be permanent is underlying the theme here. We also have the Queen. So you could be dealing with a couple, earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn individuals. Like I said, there could be a child of those signs as well, or it could just be a family. But interesting that we really only have one major arcana for you, and it's a major decision here. So, I mean, by the end of the month, something's going to square off. Something's going to come out handled pretty evenly, maybe pretty fairly, but it's not going to be without effort. So bottom of the deck, speaking of this Taurus individual, so money, assets, finance, housing, property, investments could be major themes for you. Banking or banking institutions could be major themes for you as well. Ultimately, we're looking at possessions, right? So the situation and what's crossing you, the situation is the Two of Pentacles, and it's crossed by the Knight of Swords, as you can see here. So a lot of communication, a lot of fast moving communication. There could be two areas of your life where there's a lot of fast moving communication, or a variety of communication in two areas of your life where there's a lot of new information or data or evidence. Someone who has a lot to say. Like I said, there could be issues of argument, dispute, conflict. We do have a 7 and a 5 of Swords in addition to the Knight of Swords, right? So this person is evidence-based. They're interested in speaking, but they're kind of here and gone. And like I said, they could be argumentative. But ultimately, with the Two of Pentacles and, you know, lots of really strong pentacle energy here, you're definitely keeping your feet on the ground. You're definitely able to hold it together, even if it feels like you've been here before and you have to juggle something. Something is being juggled, specifically suggesting here communication. Communication between you and at least one other person around issues of possession, ownership, health, work, service, family, you know, efforts toward investments, finance, that type of thing. Here at the foundation is the 5 of Swords. Here's where we're looking at some chaos, right? So all the 5s introduce chaos, which is necessary to grow. So this is just an element, I would say by the end of the first week, beginning of the second week, you're probably going to have to do a little bit of growing here. Communication, thinking, ideas, concepts are going to be major themes, obviously, with Swords energy. But this could just very well be in the thought phase, and it could just be thoughts about this person or this theme or this issue, right? Because this is the beginning phase of all of our manifestation. So just be aware here, guys, that by, I would say, mid to the late first week of July, that we're going to avoid communicative conflict. Even if you feel someone is wrong, okay? Or even if someone feels, you know, you're wrong and I prove it, maybe, you know, don't get your back up. Just say, look, let's move on from this. So try to avoid conflict by the end of the first week here. Or someone might be trying to draw this out of you or trying to engage you in something that you'd rather not. So, you know, just try to get out of that in a really simple, peaceful way. Because remember, with the Page of Pentacles, he's the most creative of the pages. He's the most creative. He holds the most creative potential. There's a lot of sensitivity and artistry that the Page of Pentacles is capable of manifesting. So just be sure that you're not beating yourself up over a project that you want to bring into fruition, especially if it is a one of artistic value, one of, you know, creative, personal creative talent. You know, don't talk yourself out of it and don't make excuses for it. Maybe just do it. That's another avenue that I'm seeing here as well. This could be less of a communicative conflict and more of a sort of, you know, your internal dialogue, sort of holding yourself back or keeping yourself back from producing, okay, physical production of a creative project. Just want to throw that out there before that gets lost in the fray. Here in your recent past, we have our Queen of Pentacles, this stunning queen full of ability and personal power and financial acumen, and just a really nurturing, generous human being. Whether this is an actual female or male, this is just the energy. She's also ruling the 10th house. We know that Taurus rules the King of Pentacles. This is 2nd house possessions. 10th house energy is the status, your public status, your public image, this type of thing. So this could be, you know, in your recent past, it could be how the public relates to you, how you want to be seen by the public, how much there could be an issue of authority here. It is bookmarking the central issue here with the Two of Cups. So again, I love seeing this, and believe me, I'm looking. Whenever I see conflict cards, 5 and 7, as I'm pointing out here, we need to see these 2s and 6s nearby. We need to see that conflict will be managed, that disputes will be met with compassion. And we are seeing this. So this is lovely. I do think that this could be a growing stage for you. But again, this is all part and parcel of, you know, taking yourself to the next stage. You don't want to go be on a hamster wheel forever either, right? We all want to grow and mature. But in your recent past, you could have been dealing with a Capricorn individual as well, or someone in the 10th house. Like I said, the public image could be very important here for you as well. But certainly power, right? There could be a power play or a power struggle. I love seeing this, as I was saying, bookmarking the central issue. You'll notice the Queen of Pentacles, this nurturing, very capable, possibly even wealthy in some way, woman or feminine characteristic or nurturing characteristic, looking straight at the Two of Cups, which is, guess what? A soulmate situation. This is, everything is resolved under these auspices, because the desire, the instinct, the concept, the you know, the subconscious is designed for peace. Right? When you're dealing with soulmate energy here that we're going to look at in detail, you're dealing with at least, you know, one individual meeting minds in possibly even in an unspoken way with another person. And this could be a person who isn't even an earth sign, who just fulfills all these requirements for you. Someone who is in the public eye, someone who is good at wealth, you know, and this is your soulmate, or this creates a soulmate situation. They could even, you could call upon a person whom you trust greatly in a position of power of some sort here to help you conclude an issue of, say, conflict here as well. So definitely some people, right? I mean, there are some definite, we have, you know, Queen, King, and a Page. So you're definitely dealing with some specific characters in the month of July. But again, nothing overarchingly dangerous or difficult, just some, maybe some growing pains, maybe some an initiation period, maybe a way for you to learn how to communicate differently could be another avenue for you here as well. I did talk a little bit about the page just a moment ago, but the Page of Pentacles is crowning you, and this is stunning. This could strictly just have to do, Cancer, with a creative project that you are, for some reason, holding yourself back from. It could be an internal conflict. It could just be stories you tell yourself, self-defeating narratives. But it could just be that there's no time. It could just be that something else is taking up your time. Like I said, there's definitely a situation where you're juggling two different worlds here. So try not to let this slip, though. This Page of Pentacles is extremely creative, extremely potent energy. And if this is a person, you know, this would be a Virgo, Taurus, or individual person who's younger than you, right? And this could be who you're engaged in communicating with, or whom you're trying to find common ground with. But common ground will be met, it looks like, specifically by the end of the second week with this Two of Cups. As I mentioned, this is the soulmate card. This is meeting of the minds through a heart space. It's essential that we get to this place because it's so meaningful. And it's also telling me here that you have at least one other individual or agency or you know, piece of the puzzle on your side. You do have support. You do have support here. Now, interestingly enough, in the position on how you see yourself, you have a major decision to make. We do have Lovers, which is Gemini ruled. So Gemini rules this card, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So communication is very, very important here. Possibly written communication. Really stay away from tricky stuff. We have our hopes and fears with the gamble or trickery card. Just make sure that you do speak clearly, confidently, and honestly, like truthfully here, because the soulmate situation is going to rely on it, and it's going to make a difference to the outcome. So make a decision here based on your heart, based on a communication that you have with someone that you can trust. You know, where the highest good, the highest element is being employed, which is always the heart. So the Lovers card really insists that we choose a direction with love. We think it's going to be with our mind. We think we're going to have all the answers, but we're going to choose a direction. And it is interesting. We have that 6 again, that balance, balance, balance. 2 2s, 2 6s. So even though there's going to be some growing energy here for you, you're really going to come out having won something, because it's going to help evolve you. Here in the position, which is how others see you, this is someone who is just fighting a very wild battle. This just feels like a little bit of a battle, feels like it's uphill, but it's something that you took on. And it's something that you can follow through with, but it is going to feel like work. So how others see you, Cancer, is definitely someone who is in the struggle. You are in the struggle, you're in it, but you're in it to win it. Now, this is what we're going to pull a card on for extra information, because this is a difficult card to have anywhere, but specifically in the position that it's in, and it's in the hopes and fears, or hopes and wishes, as it were. And this is a gambler or trickster energy. This is trying to get your own way, or this is trying to get away with something. So what is that about? We'll look at that in detail in just a moment. But it is interesting. Perhaps you just simply don't want someone else to get away with something that could be problematic or unfair, or someone is clocking you to make sure you don't get away with something that is unfair. But remember, if you come from a heart space and you're communicating with or working or allying yourself with someone who is down to earth and interested in long-term solutions, someone who's down, you know, nurturing and involved with the world of possessions, and possibly even, you know, public service, possibly even your status, marital or not, you know, this this creates some trickery, but it could just be an opportunity to make sure you're both on the same page. If this is just all in your mind, however, and you're wondering if someone's trying to trick you, I would just go and flat out ask a question and don't assume anything at this time. And certainly if you find someone's doing that with you, don't let someone assume something about you. Really be clear about something here. So this could be an essentially tricky moment or period or period of communication or even thought process. And this is strictly, we're looking at the last week of the month. So let's sort it out here, guys, for the long haul. We have the Six of Wands, which is glorious as an advice or outcome card. I'm so pleased to see this following some of this tricky energy, because this is a small victory. This is success. This is really coming out on top after a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. This Nine of Wands is not to be taken advantage of. This is wounded soldier energy. This person can do and will do anything, but oh my God, it's a lot. And this energy really needs to perhaps even understand boundaries and restrictions as well, because you could need help. So with a small victory here is your advice or outcome. I'm suggesting that you're going to ask for help at this stage, or you're going to be presented help or assistance or even relief around an issue. Let's find out what is going on with that Seven of Swords. Holy smokes. Seven of Swords in the hopes and fears. Qualify the Seven of Swords in hopes and fears for Cancer, July 2020. Qualify the Seven of Swords in hopes and fears. Seven of Swords and hopes and fears. Seven of Swords and hopes and fears. Qualify the Seven of Swords and hopes and fears. Whoops. Whoops. That's sticky. Qualify the Seven of Swords in the hopes and fears for Cancer, July 2020. Why is the Seven of Swords? The Seven of Swords in the hopes and fears. All right, so we have two jumping out here. You could be dealing with an Aries individual, and you could be dealing with a new direction, a new possession. Wow, okay. So, Seven of Swords, as I mentioned, in your hopes and fears is a gambler or trickster energy. It could mean you're going off into a direction all on your own, but it does also indicate that trickery is afoot. Gambling is afoot, possibly even deception. All right. And I want to know why. So you could be dealing with an Aries individual or a very fire individual, someone who's out to looking out for themselves strictly. And it could have to do with a new something, a new person, place, or thing, a new car, a new home, a new debt, a new money, a new investment. Very interesting to see all these pentacles for you guys. You know, I do see this ultimately as a very positive outcome to having your hopes and fears. I don't see you letting someone walk all over you. And maybe that's someone else's lesson for you this month, guys. Maybe you have your own lesson down here and someone else is going to learn through working with you or with or around you on an issue that's difficult or feels uphill. And they're going to learn a lot about you. And this is what they're learning here. You're not to be taken lightly. You are self-directed. This is a great entrepreneurial energy here as well, in a brand new direction. So it could just be that something didn't work out, that you had some options around, made a decision, looks like it was hard to do, but guess what? You can move on and there's something else that's available. So this is why the Six of Wands could be your advice or outcome, because maybe the first you made a decision with your heart, didn't work out. Guess what? You can decide again. You don't have to be, maybe someone tricked you and maybe it's found out and you know now and you can move forward in peace. But ultimately by the end of the month here, guys, particularly by the end of I would say the whole last week, the whole fourth week is going to be kind of like a moment of truth or a cause or create or invite revelations. But it will have to do with possessions, and it will have to do with possibly ownership. We do have 2 queens. We could be dealing with slander or maliciousness here, guys. A lot of communication, a lot of heat, a lot of debate. I would also suggest that we don't have the Page of Swords, we have the Knight, but I am going to suggest that someone is listening very closely to you. Maybe you don't want them to. Or someone is willing to take you out of context, and you're going to have to want to check each and everything that you say. Particularly, I would say the whole month. Just the whole month. Watch communication here, guys. Watch communication. Don't take people for granted. Don't take people's don't take for granted that you can trust certain people maybe this month. Slander and maliciousness are going to be major themes, because we have 2 queens. Very, very interesting. And that could be a couple. This is a general reading, right? So I don't know if this is a love reading for you or not, but certainly conflict is going to be a major avenue, at least in one area. I'm going to suggest at least 2 specific areas. There's going to be some growing pains, growth period, a little bit of struggle, but something new and very, very positive. Something will be resolved, but not without struggle here, guys. So we have balance. Yes, balance. What was I said the whole reading? 2s, 6. We really need to see this. We really need balance here, guys, because the upset or the conflict could feel excessive. So yeah, some nice Libra energy here. Balance your emotions, balance your physical and emotional and mental worlds here, guys. All that glitters isn't gold. Something is beneath the surface here. Very interesting, because we're dealing with a lot of assets, money, influence. I would even say, we're going to look at skunk in a minute. I would even say reputation. Okay, so, you know, someone's reputation, someone's assets, someone's lifestyle, investments, whatever that is, all that glitters isn't gold. So just something on the surface. It could just be that something's going to come out. Something maybe that's been buried is just going to come out, whether you like it or not. But whenever we see masks, which we do see in this artwork, you know, there could be a false mask situation. There's something behind the scenes. There's something under that whole pile that maybe isn't so pretty. So, and maybe this is where a lot of the effort is going to be invested in, just like trying to sort that out so you can move the heck on. We do have reputation. Skunk does indicate reputation. So someone's reputation, I'm going to suggest it's yours, could be on the line, or could be eyeballed, reviewed, analyzed, or assessed. So just make sure that a reputation isn't being destroyed, or that you're not trying to destroy a reputation. And then romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So whether or not this is a romance reading for you, your feelings are real, guys. So, you know, make sure you have at least one person in your corner. Take a step back when you need to, and then invest only in what you can possibly provide, because otherwise you'll just exhaust yourself here. But remember, a really positive outcome is possible, and likely because of your own efforts. You put your foot down in a new direction. So not a terrible month, but there's going to be some growing pains. So I know that you can handle it, and I know you're going to come out on top, Cancer. So I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video for your sign. Bye for now.